Hi YouTube! Because Solasta 2 is coming out this year, I wanted to go back and play through the first one. I originally tried to play it like way back when it came out, but it was super buggy and it crashed all the time. Um, but I went back now, the Lightbringers edition, which is like the edition with all the DLC and stuff was on sale on GIG, so I just picked it up for like 20 bucks. And pretty good. I installed the Unfinished Business mod, which is essentially like a collection of mods that adds a bunch of spells, subclasses, races, everything you could think of. And the big thing I wanted from it is the 2024 rules, as Solasta 2, the devs have confirmed, is going to be using the like the 5.5 2024 DnD rule set. So I wanted to try and get more familiar with that because I've never actually like played with it. Um, and it doesn't have everything incorporated, but some of it most of it is incorporated. Like the updated classes and stuff are all 2024. Um, some of the spells are, some of the spells aren't. Some of the features are, some of the features aren't. Some of it you have to sort of do manually. Like in order to enable origin feats, I had to go into the what was it? Like characters, yeah, characters, proficiencies, total feats gained at level 1, and then like manually restrict myself into only picking feats that are in the origin feat list. So like alert, healer, tough, lucky, chef, all that stuff. Um, Unfortunately, it is the older lucky, which is good and bad. It was like good for one of my characters, although going back, I don't think lucky was the correct choice for them. Bad for the rogue because it was harder to get advantage. It would have been nice to have the new lucky in order to just like get sneak attacks. Um, but overall, pretty good. Backgrounds and races, you can just enable flexible races. You can do flexible backgrounds here. I just sort of like, that's like an optional role in 2024, and I was like, I can make the current backgrounds work. Flexible races though was like a big one because it essentially lets you just sort of pick based on like the race both you want, and it just doesn't like restrict you based on class. So like like I have an orc warlock or half orc warlock, which would be terrible in the old orcs, but now it's fine. And yep, so that worked. The only other things I changed was everything. If you just go into like the mod and enable 2024 rules, you gotta click enable multi-class. I did like some minor updates here, so like reducing the weight of food rations because I don't like messing with the encumbrance system as much. It still matters, but it just like makes it a little easier. Alternate human, although I didn't end up using it. Dark vision is very important in Solasta 1, and I imagine that would go forward into Solasta 2, which sort of like curbed the prevalence of like alternate human. Quicken spell, this just like makes it work. You can still only quicken a spell and do a cantrip afterwards. You can't go like quicken spell other spell, but this just sort of like made it work. Bestow Curse, I didn't end up using Bestow Curse, but I like the original version where level 5 slot. And then this just sets Eldritch Blast to 24, which is the same as Firebolt, which is the same as Tabletop. For some reason, when they incorporated the Warlocks as like DLC into Solasta, they like half the range on Eldritch Blast, and I was like, okay, I want to play a Warlock. I'm not going to deal with that. Yeah, I think that, and then it's just all these. Races, yeah. Oh yeah. So everything is tabletop, except I did enable. Here it is. All of the subclasses. I wanted to see what subclasses they had because in the original Solasta, there's a bunch of like subclasses the dev team made. So like, there's a paladin that focuses on like fighting the enemies that you mostly fight that are like shape-shifting invisible lizards, and there's a like paladin thing where their main feature is like they get additional damage to creatures with either like dark vision or shape-shifting, and do even more if they have both. So and just like stuff like that, right? And then the devs that worked on the modders that worked on this collection of mods added a bunch of their own sort of subclasses as well. And I think they're all pretty well incorporated. You you can't really tell which ones are like mod specific and which ones are like actual subclasses. So I thought that was pretty well done. Although some of them are still um, using older like 2014 stuff, and some of them aren't. But I think it worked out pretty well. Obviously the classes, they just have like the classes. They don't have the pugilist, which I think just came out like last month or something. But they have everything else in all the 2014 rules and stuff. Um, and that was like my mod settings. And I guess thoughts, because I was trying to do like a build video, but it was too much to sort of explain the thinking and the mod settings, and the mod settings like important to the builds. But it just ended up making them too long, so I was just gonna make a video on like my thoughts and like the mod settings and like I'll go over like some of the items here and then like talk about them more in like the individual builds. The main campaign was fine. I liked two of the twists were pretty good, but that's fine. I'm definitely more of a what do you call it? Like a I don't know, like a Munchkin combat player. So it was like serviceable as like a story. Um, the encounters, I think in the main game they were quite good, and then obviously the DLC was difficult because you run into the problem where obviously you have all like the gear from the main game, and also your builds are like really getting online because the main game's level 1 to 12. Although I did the final battle at level 11 because I stopped doing random encounters after a certain point. I was like, I'm good. I don't need to fight anymore. I don't need any more XP. And then for this one, the DLC is 12 to 16, and I hit 16 like I think right before I did the last quest. It's similar to like the DLC, the Palace of Ice is similar to the like second half of Dark Souls 1, where you have 4 different ways you can go, and it runs into similar problems where because you have 4 different ways, they're all sort of balanced around you being level 12. So it means the first couple will be like fun and challenging, and then it's sort of like, oh, like I'm way stronger than this. Um, but it was good. I definitely see why people like the DLC story a bit more. You definitely feel more invested in like the clans and the individual people you're talking to, and they have a bunch of callbacks to people from the original campaign. Well, they'll show up here for like perfectly valid reasons of like, oh, like I was here doing this. It's like, oh, that makes sense for your character. Or like one of the guys, like you have an option, like one of the first quests is like, who do you save? And so like I saved the guy who's just like a military recruit. And then halfway through the main campaign, he's like, oh yeah, like I'm going to join the military. People are going to war. And it's like, oh okay. And then you can actually meet him when you go to. Oh, I guess it. Can I show the? I don't know if there's a way to show the world map. Um, but you actually like meet him when you go to like the front here, like the Eastern Front. It's like, oh hey, you're still around, you're alive, and he like recognizes you, and it's cool. Um, so there was like some callbacks like that, and like some of the merchants or whatever like come over here and like, oh hey, I remember you. And that was good. And I think they actually improved the party banter. I don't know if they just like added stuff during the DLC, like one of the updates or whatever, but definitely one of the highlights. It's similar. I mean, obviously it's not as good as Dragon Age Origins because the parties are they're not like set characters. They have like you can set their personalities with stuff, and that'll affect like what they say and how they talk to each other. But they don't have like their whole, and they have like backstories and subquests for them, but um, they're not like individual characters. Like Alistair and Morgan or like Liliana, like those are their own characters. Sten's his own character. Versus these like characters you made and set a personality for. But it's still fun to see sort of like the back and forth they have and how they you know talk like that. So that was, I think, the like dialogue between each other was a much better highlight than like the actual story. But again, the story is just sort of like a process to get to the combat encounters, which is the real meat and potatoes. And one of the big advantages this has over Baldur's Gate is it has fully vertical combat. So as you see, I'm playing like a fairy, which is a race that has flying, and so I can actually, I don't think it'll let me here because I'm inside, but like, yeah, you move it like a little bit. I think it's because there's like a roof here, but like you can like move up, you can cast what is it? No, not that one. Like Thorn Whip, and then you can, well, you can like cast it on friendlies, but you can like drag people, um, off of cliffs, like fly up next to a like, cliffs here. I fly over here, or like here, right, and then I just drag them off, stuff like that. So really cool, and it's incorporated well into a lot of the like battle environments. You often have like archers on like rooftops. Mages will be like flying in the air somewhere. Um, Stuff like that. So it's really cool. as far as like that incorporation. Um, Magical items felt good in the main campaign. A lot of the magical items you're going to get are via crafting. So as you see, like a bunch of crafting, and so you're going to want to have someone proficient in Arcana and this crafting thing, and then they're just going to spit out a bunch of magical items. In the DLC, it wasn't as much. There's like a couple, cool stuff you can craft, but for the main part, you're going to have like your Arcana guy be crafting like the demon elixirs here. And then most of the good stuff in the DLC is like drops. Like at the end of like you do one of the clan quests, and at the very end you'll get like a drop from the boss at the end, like dragon plate armor or was it like garment of the wise, stuff like that. Um, so that was a good like. I did all my crafting, and then I think it was interesting that the DLC went into like more of the drop thing. I'm curious what they're gonna do for Solasta 2, as far as if they're going to do lean into more of the crafting or more of the drop system. I did like the alternate forms of the crafting too. So you can craft potions, standard healing potions, scaling up, but also potion of heroism, which doesn't cast heroism. It casts. Do I have anyone done with crafting so I can just show these? No. Potion of heroism essentially just gives you bless, which is good because Bless is one of the best skills in the game, and this means you don't have to use concentration on Bless. But it made you feel like gathering these little ingredients. So like Dragon Rose is, I have 10 now, but Dragon Rose is one of the harder ingredients to get. Um, and then Brimstone, Viper Scales, and the Troll, whatever you can like find around. But like Dragon Rose, you're like, oh, you like get some Dragon, you're just like, oh, I need this. This is good. Or you get a Potion of Speed, which is a Potion of Haste, and Storm Heather and Moonflower. Moonflower is kind of hard to find, and then Storm Heather also shares with the Paralyze arrow. Or yeah, so Storm Heather is going to be in high demand because there's a ton of arrows you can craft. So like there's a Paralyze one, there's a Blind one. Um, this one inflicts poison. There's like a restrained one. And so you're going to start remembering like, oh, like I need more Deep Root Lichen. I need more Storm Heathers. Um, right? I need more Dragon Rose because Dragon Rose is for both the Blind Arrow and the Heroism potions. I need more Storm Heather because it's the Paralyzed Arrow and the Speed potions. So I thought that crafting was like really well done. It also felt like the characters that weren't crafting magic items still had like a use in the party for like the downtime, right? So like Gold's Crest Arrow, Inflict Paralyze. DC is not high, but if you're throwing out like 3 arrows a turn and you're putting it on top of like 4 other DCs, um, eventually you're gonna get a tick. And if you're just like shooting an arrow at like some random monster in the corner, if you don't kill them, they get paralyzed because it's like some random like 40 health mob. It's like, okay, well, I don't have to deal with you. You're gonna pass your turn and be paralyzed. It's fine. Um, so yeah, I really like that. You can also, in addition to like the arrows, you can also do like the bolts for crossbows, but you can craft the same poisons as like poisons that you can just put on a melee weapon. So, and the actually some of them have different requirements. At least I thought they did. Emperors, yeah, those are the same. Those are different. Yeah, so some of them are different, but crafting poisons is really helpful. And crafting potions, you start to know what the good ones are. Healing potions are kind of in abundance, and depending on how you play, because you have essentially infinite short rests, as long as you don't worry about breaking like 10-minute or hour-long spells that you cast, you can take as many short rests as you want. There's not too much need for healing. Um, and then later on, obviously, you just sort of like pick up healing potions, and if you're, conservative enough with them, like you definitely do want them at some points. But um, I thought it was done really well. The scrolls, I think it was very confusing for me. So you have to have them on your spell list, but also have a spell. I think you have to be able to cast them. So, like, because my scroll crafter was like a sorcerer warlock, but I can't craft um, any spells that like let's see, it's like a high level spell that, or like Grease. Like Grease is a sorcerer spell, but I don't know it, so I can't craft it. Versus like I'm not sure if I would have to have it prepared for these. have confusion prepared. No, okay, so I don't have conjure mana. Yeah, so like for prepared casters, you could just craft anything on the scroll list. But for like known casters, you have to specifically know the spell. So I didn't end up using this much. Plus, like a lot of the vendors, like some of the stuff you need for the higher level spells, like where's a G? Where's like scroll of like heal? Here we go. Like the beetle carapaces are kind of rare. I think there's like a level 7. Do I have like the lightning? No, I didn't get it. Some of the scrolls, like their requirements are like I'd rather use those items crafting like actual magic items, or um, they're just so expensive. It's better to just buy the scrolls. I don't know. I didn't end up using them much. You can obviously use a scroll, or not obviously, but you have like an item slot, so you can, if you have a scroll in your item slot, you can use it as a uh, I think, you can only use it as a bonus action, like if you can cast a spell as a bonus action. If you have a potion, it shows your slot with like your potion slot, and you use the potion as a bonus action if it's here. Otherwise, it's like your main action. Um, but if you have it in your inventory slot, you can cast it. But you can also, you get one free inventory swap, like quote unquote inventory action per turn. So you can just go into your inventory, and if you remember, have it drag a scroll in, or just like right click and cast, right? And it works the same way. And just trying to keep track of like how much crap I had as far as like scrolls and potions and all that. The scrolls just sort of fell by the wayside. It's like, yeah, like I could cast, you know, all this from here, and it's good to have, but um, I don't know. I didn't end up using scrolls that much, but it's cool that they are incorporated, and I can definitely see if they use like the new rogue, like thief rogue, where they can like bonus action use a scroll or a magic item, and do more with that. You could definitely make some sort of build around that, which would be cool. But I just didn't find myself using it that much. But I did like the rest of the crafting. Although the smith tools kind of suck. This just gives you like basic arrows, right? I'm just grabbing them now because I ran out. It's like I'm right before the end of the game for the DLC. I was like, oh, I need more arrows because you need arrows to craft the special arrows. And I stopped picking up normal arrows a long, long time ago. And it's like, oh, I finally ran out. But I did this. The smith crafting is kind of whatever. I mean, I guess it makes sense, but we'll see. And given that 2024 D&D has like more defined rules for crafting for like magic items and stuff, it'll be interesting to see how they incorporate that. Yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the game. I think I'll do some build videos on it just for like these 4. Um, given that it's sort of like halfway between 2014 and 2025 D&D, given like some of the feats are new, old, etc. Some of the spells, like this has old counterspell, which is crazy good, but I assume in Solasta 2 they're going to have the new counterspell, which blows chunks. So, you know, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about talking about like the magic weapons and stuff I have for each character I ended up with, but I'll just do that in individual videos. But yeah, I mean, I just went. I guess I'll just talk about like the comp, right? So I went with like MC, just like fighter paladin, Maul. So you get the where is it? Character. Yeah, here we go. Weapon mastery, right? So the 2024 big thing for melee is you get weapon mastery, and Maul gives you topple. So whenever you hit someone, um, you get they have to make a like a strength save or something, otherwise they fall prone. And obviously prone gives you like advantage on any melee attacks and other stuff. In addition, sets their movement to 0, um, and or not 0, but like half or whatever. They have to move them to get prone, and if you use it as a like reaction, so like for this character, you can as a battle master, one of my maneuvers was it was like riposte or parry or something. Let me probably look at it here, right? Maneuvers, yeah, riposte. So whenever you get attacked and they miss, you have an option of riposting and using one of your dice to attack back. And then if you hit and they fail a topple save, then essentially you've like interrupted their turn, if they have like multi-attack later on. And then you combo this with like other stuff. I didn't end up taking the Crusher feat because there were some other ones. Although there was a feat that I didn't know existed, and I don't know if it's in 2024. There's no way to see feats from here. But like more CC on like a big maul. Essentially, Crusher lets you like move things if you do bludgeoning damage. And then from the base game, you could actually craft Maul the Destroyer, which has a I think it's like a DC 13, right? DC 13 strength save, which stacks on top of the topple save in order to like stun them. So you have a chance to stun, you have a chance to knock down, and then I also had menacing attack, so chance to fear and other stuff. But yeah, I digress. Basically, yeah, CC Paladin. This was just a straight Forest Guardian. I'm not sure if this was one of the modded subclasses or one of the in-game subclasses, but essentially just straight Druid, and it's like a quote-unquote melee Druid because you get at level 3 you start to use your spellcasting mod as attacks, and then at level 6 you get extra attack, and you can also replace one of them with a cantrip. And so I come with that with like potent cantrip, so you can like attack and use a cantrip in the same turn. So you can like use Thorn Whip to like pull someone over and then still get to attack with something. And then the big marquee thing is like Bark Ward, which is essentially just like a bonus action. You use a wild shape and you get refreshing temporary hit points each turn. And then at like level 10 or something, or no, at level 14 I think it becomes like AoE, so your whole party gets it, and then whenever someone hits you they take damage. But yeah, I mean, this was just a straight Druid. And there's a Sorlock, essentially just CC spells, slow rocks. I hope slow didn't change for 2024 because the spell rocks. It's like haste is super nerfed in like compared to Pathfinder, but slow is like just as good. So, and it doesn't target allies, so you just plop it in the middle of the field. It rocks. Banishment's really good when you get like a bunch of elementals. There was one fight with actually I think like the last one I just did in the DLC where it's like 6 ice elementals and a white dragon, and I just had him cast banishment as level 6 and just poof, three elementals just out of existence, done. And obviously because they're elementals, they're just gone. Obviously not permanently, but like I finished everyone off, and luckily they don't make you wait the 10 rounds. If you kill everything else, they will just like, okay, you win. It's the same with like dominate person, so that's like a nice little quality of life to have. But yeah, basically just like cast a big CC spell and then blast with Eldritch Blast for your damage. And CC obviously, a bunch of add-ons on CC. So Eldritch Blast did like 5 different saving throws or whatever, and it put disadvantage, and then you get this weapon like right at the start of the DLC, and so your Eldritch Blast is critting on 18s, and very fun. Although I think this one definitely needs a lot of work. As far as like, I would definitely have picked a different Warlock subclass, and then I probably would have stuck with this Sorcerer subclass, but picked some different spells. But conceptually it worked out pretty well. This was just straight Druid, not really much of a build, just like I was playing the subclass. Pretty good. Definitely good to like have all of the access to the Druid spells, especially Goodberry. Goodberry is very important. Long Strider, also very important. This was like an off tank because you get shield as one of your circle spells, which Druids don't usually get. So I just loaded them up with like, I mean, as a flying class, light armor, but because you need light armor to fly, but you just load them up with like a +3 shield, and this light armor is like a +3 light armor, so AC gets pretty high, plus you get shield. So yeah, she was like off tank, plus full Druid spell progression, pretty good. And then this was probably the strongest, just because of how powerful the arrows you can get. Paralyzed, restrained, blinded. So the arrows are really strong. And this is just like a monk rogue, because there is a monk way of Zen archery, which is fun. It's like land from Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous, where you can like use a bonus attack to attack with your make a bow attack, and you can use your stunning strikes through the bow. You get your extra attack here, obviously because rogues don't have extra attack. And then you just go. Rogue Raven gives you like a bunch of like snipers aim more damage. You get like fighting style archery at level 3. Some sneak attack stuff. Free crits. So this one worked pretty well. Obviously, you can easily get Brace of Archery is like one of the common items in the game, because you can just buy it from a reputation vendor. There's plenty of magical bows, and then you just spam out arrows. I generate like more key points, and then like a +2 wisdom garment. It's always able to get +2 wisdom, and then there's like +2 books. That's why some of the stats like above 20. But basically, he was able to get like base 20/20 on top of the old sharpshooter. I wonder what the new sharpshooter fate does. Sharpshooter 2024. Oh, this sucks. Oh well. So I guess it wouldn't be as good in the new one. Um, Unlike Great Weapon Master that like I took on this, and so like Great Weapon Master and Sharpshooter still have like the old feats I incorporated, but the new Great Weapon Master just gives you like proficiency damage bonus, whereas the new Sharpshooter just blows chunks, as opposed to like this one where you get I won't even show me. You get to do like a -5 on the accuracy roll to get +10 damage like flat, and you get so many damage bonuses through all the stuff I took that worked out pretty well. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I definitely rambled on a bit, but I enjoyed the game. There's gonna be some build videos come out um, on this. Hopefully, like next week, maybe next couple days. We'll see how busy I am. Um, and I did see that for Age of Wonders 4, there's the Scorpion updates in beta. I usually wait until it's actually officially out, and then I try to like play through at least 1 or 2 like full games before I um, make any sort of like build video or thoughts or whatever. And like for the vampire update, it took a while before I found a build that I was happy with, which was the Vampire Beast build. It actually on the beta gets a huge buff because all the 32 speed beasts are going up to 40 speed, and all of the beasts that are owned by a player instead of in the battlefield get like 10 health, 1 defense, 1 resistance. So they're gonna be way tankier. So that'll be great. Um, but yeah, the normalizing of the move speed and like changes to all the units. It looks like it'll be a really good update. So we'll see what the tomes and stuff add. Hopefully they don't bungle it with like another tome purifying flame, Pyre Templars or something. But we'll see. Um, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, videos to come. Thanks for watching if you did. Bye bye.